Midnight Madness. Yeah. Yeah.
Got this midnight madness. Midnight madness. Midnight
Midnight madness, you're gonna get it. Midnight madness, you're gonna get it. Midnight madness, you're gonna get it.
And now the Midnight Madness Show, where it's always sunny and 82 degrees. Here's your host, the DJ Doctor.
Good morning. As the man with the deep voice says, sunny and 82 degrees. Although it's starting to come another tornadic Tuesday, isn't it not?
Getting close to it.
It's getting close to it. We're getting the storm clouds are starting to fall in here, but I want to welcome everybody. Stay in your house, stay comfortable and warm. We're going to have a good show tonight. I am Mark, the DJ Doctor, along with our hosts, and I'm going to let them introduce themselves as we go down the line. If you're looking at your computer, we're going from Alt Delete button on the left to the right. So to my right, the one, the only, wearing the cat hat, the hillbilly heartthrob, Jason Adams.
Good morning.
Oh my. How about in your real voice now?
Oh, okay.
How are you doing, Jason?
Well, I'm absolutely wonderful.
Oh, no. I apologize.
I'm not.
Co-hosts and stuff. So, my. Hand the microphone off to the person to the right. Please identify yourself in a logical way. But
okay, I'm here because he's fired. So.
See ya. The hillbilly's been upgraded.
And, of course, it's Magnificent Manda. We're combining our shows tonight.
Yeah, we got Magnificent Amanda, and then we got, to the far right,
Awesome Andy.
Awesome Andy sitting there. We got 4 people at the microphones here tonight. And then we got Big Bad Bob.
Big Bad Bob.
Big Bad Bob
Big
sitting out there.
Bad
He doesn't have a
Bob.
mic tonight, so he's going to be like, which one of the Marx brothers didn't talk? Was it Harpo? We just got to give you a horn. You just like honk it. You know? What do you think of that, Bob? Honk, honk, honk. You know, that's what we need to get Bob over there. So with that, we're going to have a good show tonight.
We got a double pack tonight.
We got a double pack tonight. We got a back-to-back guest tonight, so we're going to go a little extra long than the normal show. We want to thank everybody that's listened to our Facebook page and listen to us online to WFNCJams.com. Also want to be a special thank you to Chris out there, HeatFMRadio.com. Listened to the station earlier today, so they were jamming earlier today.
Oh, yeah.
They had some wild stuff on there today, so good stuff. But, yeah, I was checking you guys out earlier today, so we want to thank you for spreading the love and getting our musicians all over the world with us. So, Jason, who do we have for our artist tonight?
We've got 2 great artists. And I guess we'll start with the young lady we have sitting behind the microphone since she's already there.
Let's do that first.
Miss Annemarie.
How you doing, Ann?
Good. How are you?
Or
guys?
it's Annemarie. It's one word.
Anne-Marie, yeah.
Anne-Marie. And I'm going to have a problem with that all night. I told you. So we're going to call you Anne-Marie a few times. But Anne-Marie. So
What would you call her, Anna?
or Anna? I think I called her something like that. But Anne-Marie. So how you doing?
Doing well.
Good. What we're going to do is get you to play a song real quick, and then
Okay.
when you're done, we're going to grill you. Again, a lot of math, a lot of stuff going on like that. So why
Okay.
don't you pick a
If 3
tune out?
trains traveling the same distance at the same speed of sound, and they collide.
Speed of sound? Don't listen to this man over here. Please play us a tune, and we're going to talk to you a little bit about your life.
Okay. I'm going to play cover Dixie Chicks, Traveling Soldier. 2 days past 18, he was waiting for a bus in his army green. Sat down in a booth cafe there, gave an order to a girl with a bow in her hair. He's a little shy, so she gave him a smile, and he said, would you mind sitting down for a while and talking to me? Feeling a little low. She said, I'm off in an hour and I know where we can go. So they went down and they sat on the pier. He said, I bet you got a boyfriend, but I don't care. I got no one to send a letter to. Would you mind if I sent one back here to you? I ain't never gonna hold the hand of another said, folks, won't you bow your head for a list of local Vietnam dead? Crying all alone under the stand was a piccolo player in the marching band, and one named Red. Nobody really cared, but a pretty little girl, bow in her hair. I cry, never gonna hold the hand of another guy too young. And they told her, waiting for the love of a traveling soldier. Our love will never end. Waiting for the soldier to come back again. Never more to be alone. And the letter said, soldiers coming. I cry, never gonna hold the hand of another guy too young. And they told her, waiting for the love of a traveling soldier. Our love will never end. Waiting for the soldier to come back again. Never more to be alone. When the letter said, soldiers coming home. Thank you.
Very nice. That's the way to start us off on. Well, we got a lot of listeners all over the world wanting to hear all about you. So let's start from the beginning. Where did you come from originally? Where were you born?
Well, I am from the West, so I grew up in Nevada, northeastern. So not Vegas, but like
Okay.
high desert
Still warm.
in the summer.
Right.
But in the winter, very high like elevation, so we got snow. And
did you? Okay.
so I grew up on a cattle ranch out there, so very rural area. We had about 200 people in the valley where I grew up. It's not really a town. Nearest town was about an hour away. So kind of just grew up on the range, and then eventually went off to the big city in
Which
was Salt Lake City
Salt Lake
in
City,
Utah.
okay.
I went to school. Actually went to Central Utah to Snow College, did music, and then transferred to University of Utah in Salt Lake City and did music education, and then did my bachelor's and master's in that, and started playing in a bluegrass band while I was in Utah, and we were all friends. We were all doing music together in like music education, and then we started a bluegrass group, and we called ourselves the Pretty Darns, and so, which we thought was a pretty darn good name,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
And so we played for about 3.5 years. We actually came on a little self-produced tour out to Nashville, went to Ohio, to North Carolina, St. Louis, and just kind of like a 2-week road trip, but had a few shows along the way. And when we came to Nashville, I fell in love with Nashville, and didn't think about it too much until about a year after I was just finishing up my master's, and kind of at a crossroads, like, do I want to stay where I'm at, or do I want to go somewhere completely different? And Nashville just popped into my mind, and so it came to fruition and came out, and haven't really looked back.
So what was your master's in?
It was in music education.
Oh, it was in music.
Yeah.
Okay, so it was
it
still related.
It was, yeah. So didn't think about performing like for a living initially, and so I was like, well, I could go to Nashville and teach and do the songwriting thing, and so I came out and didn't find a teaching job, but I did basically, I call it my gypsy life. You know, a lot of people come to Nashville and they don't really always get jobs in what they've been trained in or gone to school for if they're doing the music thing and songwriting. And so I did everything from nannying to substitute teaching, odd things, construction work.
Welcome
just,
to
you know,
Nashville.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you meet a lot of people. I never did waitress, though. That was kind of surprising. Never
That's
worked in the
good.
food industry. So, but then I did end up teaching full-time last year and was doing music, guitar, and piano, and choir and things, and so
Okay.
kind of interspersed.
Back in Nevada, is that where you got bitten by the music bug? Were you growing up in a musical family, or did it strike you first, or?
So my mom played piano, and she taught music at our school. So I went to like a 2-room schoolhouse. It was like Little House on the Prairie. So there was like grades, kindergarten through 8th grade, and we had like 24 kids in the whole school. And
That's
so
less than yours, Jason.
Yeah, that's less than
yeah.
mine.
How many were in yours?
We had kindergarten through 12th grade. I had one of the biggest graduating classes of about 30 kids.
Okay, so that's that's big to us because we had the biggest 8th grade graduating class of 8. So, yeah, my mom would volunteer and come teach music about, I think it was like once every couple weeks or once a week, and would just teach singing. And so I always remember I loved to sing, and I would make up songs just kind of on the spot and while I was out in the fields, sing to the cows, and would just kind of make stuff up. And didn't think that was like actually what people did for a living. And so, yeah, I just remember telling my mom, like, I think I want to write songs. And she just kind of laughed and I was like, oh, okay, well, maybe that's not a real thing. And so, but yeah, basically from an early age, I think I kind of credit my mom to giving me that kind of musical interest.
Okay.
So
when did you start playing the instrument? Was it guitar, or did you start with piano
I
first?
started with piano.
Okay.
I did not like my piano lessons. I was not very good at practicing.
Right.
And my mom was a piano teacher, but she didn't teach me because she felt that we would kind of butt heads.
And
she
that
tried
happens
to-
a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Same way with, like, fathers teaching Little League and
Yeah.
Pop Warner football. It's not good.
Yeah.
Usually not good.
So she was smart, and she got me lessons with another teacher, and I did that for a few years. But then I really wanted to play guitar, and so I got them to give me like one of those little like beginner guitars, and
Right.
I think my brother played a little bit, and he taught me like 2 chords. And I remember my first song was "Deep in the Heart of Texas." It was just G and D,
There you go.
and so I was like, "Oh yeah, I can play a song. This is awesome." And so,
That was the first 2 that I learned, but I was doing Walter Cross, Texas.
Oh,
when I learned
okay.
stuff.
And if you learn C, then you got about 90% of all music out
Right,
there.
Exactly.
It's about those 3 chords. But
yeah.
well, that's good. So how old were you when you got out of Nevada and started heading toward Utah? Was it
So that
high
was
school,
it
college?
So when I was 18, and I went to Ephraim, Utah, and started majoring in music. And even up to that point, I wouldn't even think about it really as a major. As you grow up, you have a lot of different ideas what you want to do. Like, I want to be an architect, an archaeologist, or all these different things. And when it actually came time to choose kind of what do you want to go into, I went to the college counselor. He's all, well, what do you like? I'm like, well, music. I did choir and band and in high school, and was pretty involved in that. And so he's like, well, let's sign you up for the music. And so I was terrible at music theory and like all those like ear training
Right.
classes, and I took voice lessons. And so like that part for me was great, but when you had to do all the more regimented, like these are the things like that would have helped if I had stuck with piano more because of like the music theory. And so
Right.
just kind of had to get through that, but finally got to where I'm like, oh, okay, this is very beneficial, and was able to incorporate that. So
Well, good. Why don't you bust into another song real quick? Tell
Okay.
us a little bit about it. We'll get some more music and back to firing more questions at you.
okay, perfect. This next song is an original, one of my more recent ones, and this is called "Let Me Breathe." And I kind of the idea for this song was just kind of thinking about the hustle and bustle of life and how we all just get really busy, and sometimes we don't really even have a chance to take a breath and stop and breathe. And sometimes we also judge ourselves like where we are like in success, and like if you judge yourself compared to other people, you're not going to be satisfied. But if you look at yourself from like where you've been and where you are now, that's a better way to kind of turn from like where you've been to where you're going. So this song is kind of about that.
Okay.
So let me breathe. just laugh and a nod, 'cause I know that it's true. Life's been hard, got dealt an unlucky card. May have lost a few hands, but at least I'm still in the game. Well, I'm not yet where I'm headed to, but at least I know I'll make it through. Just let me breathe for a while. Close my eyes and smile. Well, if you knew where I'm coming from, you know just how far I've come. Well, I don't know exactly where I'll go, but I've got an idea of where I'm supposed to be. The path I take could be a mistake, but it won't be clear until I walk that way. Well, I'm at this fork in the road before I choose which way to go. Just let me breathe for a while. Close my eyes and smile. Well, if you knew where I'm coming from, you know just how far I've come. Well, looking back now, I can see how everything was meant to be. Well, I'm finally coming to my senses. There are no coincidences. Just let me breathe for a while. Close my eyes and smile. Just let me breathe for a while. Close my eyes and smile. Well, if you knew where I'm coming from, you know just how far I've come.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Trying to kill my phone. It just came on as right there at the end of the song. Sorry about
Perfect
that.
timing.
It actually
Yeah, perfect
blended really
timing.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, I think I'm going to add
Really
that.
Yeah,
situated the
add that
very
little
song.
jingle there at the end. It makes it perfect. Well, good. So you came to Nashville. About how many years ago did you come to Nashville?
About 4.5.
4.5. So you came in. You basically were going to go as a teaching kind of a mentality first.
Yeah.
And about how long into that did you really start going? Now I'm going out and start playing and singing, but doing my own thing, singer-songwriter stuff.
Well, it kind of, before I even got here, because it took a while to, even get myself to come, because I didn't have a job, I didn't have a place to live, and so I was like, well, this is not logical. I mean, I just graduated with my master's. I shouldn't be just throwing that away, and, picking up, but just kind of, I had a friend that had moved here, and she just like, you know what, you just gotta come and then look for a job. It's because I was applying online for jobs, and just hard when you're not here. And so she convinced me. She's like, you just need to come out, because she had moved just a few months before I had. And so I was like, okay. So I just packed up my car, and my mom drove out with me, and still didn't have a place to live, didn't have a job, and was literally like looking for places to live on the way out. And then you'd get to apartments like, oh, well, we need to see like that you have a job so you can pay rent, or like the jobs are like, well, what is your residence? And so it just like this catch-22 is like, okay, well, I don't have a place to live or a job. But eventually, my friend had another friend that had needed a roommate, but not for like another couple months. But it just ended up that I kind of slept on her floor until the other roommate had moved out. And then within 2 weeks, I found a nannying job. And so it just all kind of worked out. It's just kind of that, the theory that you can't really move a parked car. You just have to go.
Right.
And then things just kind of fall into place.
Well, I was going to say, most people have the exact same story, but they don't have their masters.
Yeah, exactly. I know, and I'm like, I'm just pretty much in the same
So
place.
you just go and do
Yeah.
it and take it.
Yeah.
If you want it, you just make it happen.
Well, sometimes you just got to make your own destiny. You got to get
Yeah.
out there. If you ain't out there knocking on doors and beating down the streets, it just doesn't happen a lot. It's not often someone calls you up and say, hey, Annemarie, we got this really cool apartment out here. We got a great job for you. Why don't you move from Utah, come out to Nashville, and your life would be perfect. It just don't happen that way. It's very rare does that happen.
You just have to be a bum like me.
Yeah, you got to be a musician, no job, no money, just move and just go.
Story of
"All
my
right,
life.
Now we're here, now what?
I have no money.
Yeah, and got no job either, really. But no, he's got a good job. And then he's got this job.
Yes.
And we're so tickled for you.
I bet you are.
Every week I get to sit next to you, and
Did you hear those crickets chirping when you
I
said
heard
that?
I don't know if that
dead
was from outside or
silence?
inside his brain, but I wasn't quite sure. But
See the abuse I have to take every week.
yes, exactly. Again, we want to thank everybody that's listened to our radio station, either online or your cell phone with the TuneIn app, or if you're listening to us on Facebook. We appreciate it. There's multitudes of ways, and Brian's got on our actual website page, wfcjams.com, I think like 6 different ways you can tune in and listen to our radio station.
Right.
Like it, share it with your family and friends. While you're at it, check out Heat FM Radio. Chris and the boys out there in New York do a great job pushing our show along. They do our live shows as well as our vinyl show,
Yes.
which is good. So, Chris, thank you for...
We just set a date for that tonight.
Yes, I believe we set a date. We don't know if Brian, the IT guru, we didn't introduce IT guru.
You didn't. You're
No,
slacking tonight.
I'm surprised my mic's not muted. But Brian, our IT guru genius from Pulaski, how you doing, Brian?
I'm just eight.
He's just eating. For someone who eats a lot, you sure are a small guy.
Hey, does the 21st work for you for a vinyl show?
Yeah.
There it is, folks.
There it is. There it is.
There it is. June
Hey, as long as
21st.
Mr. Chris Cataldo up there in New York's cool with it, I'm cool with it.
All right.
So far, we're all looking good. So June the 21st, and we're not quite sure the theme. We're talking about the theme.
We're thinking, what was it? You said the
Covers.
Covers. Play
Possibly
the
doing
original, then a
covers.
cover.
Yeah, and it might be multiple 3, 4, 5 covers of the same song,
And
not
you
just one.
And we can throw the parodies and the answers to the songs, too.
Yeah,
in
so
there.
we might do that. So something different to kind of keep you guys on your toes out there. So Jason's got a lot of work trying to find this stuff in his small record collection of about
Yes, it's
10,000 albums.
Yeah.
So he's got nothing else to do. So if you got some suggestions for covers, go ahead and put it on our Facebook page that you know the original and then you like the cover of it. Well, Jason may have the album because, again, we're not doing this off the Internet. This is actual vinyl we're spinning here at the 13th floor of the FMC Manchester Skyrise building. So, yeah, it's a nice loft out there for being on the 13th floor. You got a nice breeze.
Nice breeze.
Yeah, we'll have to go downstairs to the main guard shack. And
Now, for some of the people that don't know yet, the Nashville Night Show will not be airing this evening.
Right.
We're going to have a longer Midnight Madness show.
We have 2 artists tonight.
2 artists tonight, and I got 2 artists next week as well. So we're just trying to fill in until Andy and Mandy figure out their strategy to get things rolling again for their show. But
yeah, just so everyone knows, our dear beloved friend Randy, the rockin' robot Randy, he is, as a musician and a songwriter, sometimes you just get yourself really inundated. He's got stuff that he may have to go to Ireland for.
Yep.
He's got a song over in Ireland that's doing real well. He's got a song on Sammy Kershaw's album. He's just got a radio spot out of Florida where he's going to be on there for 5 nights a week. And like he said, he goes, I didn't realize for a 1-hour radio show he had to prep for about 4 hours ahead of that. So he got himself kind of in a an hourly bind. So he's taking a little time off from us. We wish him the best. He's still our friend. He's still our buddy. When he comes back, we'll bring him back and beat the snot out of him.
Right.
He might be back for the vinyl show. We'll see what happens.
He'll probably be a guest once in a while.
Yeah, so just, don't forget, Randy's out there doing it. Say your prayer for Randy. He's biting off a lot. He's got a lot going on. But as Annemarie was talking about, she's got a master's, and she decided to just pick up and run. Go to Nashville, no job, no place to live. Sometimes you just got to jump off the cliff and hope there's a safety net down there waiting for you called a career. So we wish Randy the best of luck. He's got a lot of stuff going on, a lot of fires.
That's what happened to my face. There was no safety net.
No safety net at all. And you get that. But we almost had video. We are a video card away, I believe, from our supercomputer over there to having video on the show here. So
Tish, it wasn't that funny.
she's sitting right next to me. She knows exactly how funny that is. But sooner or later, we're going to actually have video of our shows like we used to in the old days, and they're going to see the Hillbilly Heartthrob and all of his throbbiness. So,
We sure we won't really want to do this.
Brian, the more I'm talking myself out of this. So, but Brian's got everything
I've got
all
the
wired
face
up.
for radio.
Yes,
I
you
really
do. In the dark. Radio in the dark.
Radio in the dark.
Unplugged. But so we should have hopefully in a couple of weeks or so. Brian's got to get it figured out what we got to do to get that up. But we'll have maybe video going on with WFMC jams. That'd be cool, like the old days.
Yes.
Can I announce something?
What's that?
Yes, you may.
We
If we're on
managed to
video
get
right
video
now.
back again at the Commodore last Sunday. So I know several people that tune in. They're like, "Why can't I see anything? I'll just hear them. I don't see them." Well, we fixed that. So got our laptop that got destroyed last year back, and so from here on out, you should be able to watch that every Sunday.
Excellent. So Brian's got video back at the Commodore Grill every week, every Sunday. About what time does it go on, Brian? 5:30, 6 o'clock?
7 p.m. usually.
But they start a little early sometimes, don't they? Not
Sometimes,
anymore.
yeah.
They used to. So just make it 7 o'clock. They'll go live, and you'll have Debbie Champion's songwriter night up there at the Holiday Inn on West End up there at the Commodore Grill, over there by Vanderbilt. So we've been doing that. How many years have you been up there, Brian? 4?
4.5.
4.5 doing that. Great artists up there. You go over there, and that's where you hear people go, well, I cut this one on Clint Black's 6th album, and I cut this one off George Strait's 3rd album. Big hit songwriters, and then we bring those to you every Sunday, and Debbie rotates those throughout. So great group of people up there. Check that out, and Brian's going to start having video again up there. That's great.
Better than my shows. This was on number 3 on my album.
Yeah. No, this one was number 3 on your first album.
Well, Mark, when I was at Dollywood and I spoke with Randy there, that was one of the things he asked me. He said, is anyone videoing any of the artists that you're interviewing? And I said, well, it's something we had talked about. He said, you really ought to think about doing that.
Well, Brian tested our system here, and it looks like our system's up and hopping for it. He's got all the mechanical stuff, except apparently we got a faulty video card that was not allowing it to take. And so, Brian, we're trying to figure out how to get that card for Brian. And, yeah, that'd be cool. And that Randy you were referring to, there was Randy Parton, Dolly's brother.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, poor guy.
It would be hard to have people like that in your family.
It kind of would be, though. I met Larry Bird's brother, and I can't remember his name. See, and that's the problem. Because no one remembers him. They remember Larry Bird. They're going, hey, how's your brother doing? Well, I have a life, too, so... But Randy Parton. So, yeah, he's wanting us to do videos. So we're going to try to do that.
That's the same problem my brother says he has.
What's that?
You're Jason's brother.
Yeah, you're Jason's brother. Yeah, he's almost famous for that, too, isn't he? Let's get back to the artist here real quick. So, Annemarie, we got you down into Nashville. You got a place to stay. You got a gig a little bit. So did you start going into doing cover stuff, playing with people, or did you start doing the songwriter rounds? What was your first attack at the music thing here in Nashville?
So mostly the songwriter rounds. So I met some songwriters, and they'd invite me to play on rounds, and then kind of getting into co-writing and then playing those out. Mm-hmm. Before I came to Nashville, I'd never co-written. I'd written my own songs and played those with my band, and we all wrote songs and we just arranged them, but I didn't really, understand how people did like the co-writing thing. So that was something that was new for me. And I actually just get on Craigslist and look at a lot of those like postings for gigs and things.
Right.
And so I played like just some random things, some places in Franklin, and then just like looking for open mic nights and just kind of ways to meet people. And so that's how I had met co-writers, is I would go to those writers' nights and then, hear a song like, oh, hey, that's cool, we should write sometime. Just kind of the Nashville handshake, like, here's my card, I'll take your card, change numbers.
Shake with a card in each other's hand, or a
basically.
CD, a demo.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. So, do you write more now with a co-writer or still as a single artist?
I do both. So there's some that I write with more. Lately haven't gotten a lot of new co-writers. And the thing I've done lately the past couple of years is I've actually gone to Ireland and done a couple tours over there and played like covers with that and then some originals and taken a banjo player actually from the region where I'm from in northern Nevada. And so he would come in we met out there, and then he came on a couple of these tours with me. And so that's been a really, really fun thing and kind of this total new experience. You're not in a place where it's so saturated with music, but they love, there's very traditional and like they love music, but it's not like the Nashville scene, I guess you could say. I guess it is saturated with music, but they like all types of music and just very accepting. And so it was total different, feel from Nashville, and very, very fun experience.
Beautiful over there, from what I heard.
Mm-hmm.
My ancestors are from over there. I always wanted to go to Ireland, but never made it. Yeah, what a shock. When the last time Irish. Yeah. But I've never gotten over there, and I've been wanting to go, and a friend of mine was there about 3 years ago. I just bragged on how beautiful Ireland was. So
yes,
I would like to get over there sometime.
It's almost as beautiful as I am.
Good Lord.
Almost.
A couple of weeks, we'll have the radio with video, and people are going to know better. You're going to have to wear a mask of, like, Tom Hanks or something.
I could look like whoever they want me to be in the dark.
That's true. That's true until they grab that midsection. They're going to go. Here, Brian.
I look just like The Rock.
Yeah. A boulder, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brian says, yeah. On radio, man. You can be The Rock all you want to. But,
I think it's time for a song.
That's at least a good segue into it. Please play a tune somehow or another.
Oh, okay. All right, I'm going to do Bluegrass, kind of standard cover.
Notice not a rock song.
Yeah, sorry, I don't play a lot of rock songs, unless it's Rocky Top,
Oh, there
rock
you go.
songs. All right, this is going to be Sitting on Top of the World. Was in the spring, one sunny day, my good God left me, we went away. And now he's gone, but I don't worry, 'cause I'm sitting on top of the world. He called me up from down in El Paso, said, come back, mama, I need you so. And now he's gone, but I don't worry, 'cause I'm sitting on top of the world. Ashes to ashes and dust to dust, show me a man a woman can trust. And now he's gone, but I don't worry, 'cause I'm sitting on top of the world. Mississippi River, long, deep, and wide, got me a man on the other side. And now he's gone, but I don't worry, 'cause I'm sitting on top of the world. You don't like my peaches, don't you shake my tree. Get out of my orchard, let my peaches be. And
Now he's gone, but I don't worry, 'cause I'm sitting on top of the world. Don't you come here running, poking out your hand. You got your woman, I got my man. And now he's gone, but I don't worry, 'cause I'm sitting on top of the world. Yes, I'm sitting on top of the world. Thank you.
Very nice. So, is bluegrass your favorite genre of music? Is that it?
It's my favorite to play for sure and listen to. It's hard to pick a favorite genre. I've been influenced by so many.
Right.
I think bluegrass I really cater to because I started playing in a band with my friends, and one was a jazz musician. I trained classically, and the other one was kind of had the influence of the bluegrass. And she had a fiddle, I had a guitar, and then the jazz friend, she played piano, but she picked up the mandolin and learned that. And so we all started kind of jamming, and so my friend that played the fiddle had all the bluegrass background. We started playing songs like Tom Dooley and like I'll Fly Away. And then we just jammed, and then we decided, hey, we should, play in front of people. And then we started doing like these little gigs, and then we made a demo, and then I started and as we did this, I started listening to bluegrass music more, and really, really loved it. And I had, done a little bit of jazz, and so it was very similar to that because you have improvisation and kind of that trading and changing. And so just kind of interesting how I was very, classically trained, but kind of was really drawn to the bluegrass and folk genre.
That's cool. Now with jazz, were you into the more the modern jazz, where it's piano driven or a horn driven, or the old school, where if there was 4 people in the band, it was like 4 separate songs going at the same time?
Right. Probably the modern. I played in like jazz band in high school and a little bit in college, but and then I got a like jazz choirs in college, so it was more kind of that vocal base, so a lot of Ella Fitzgerald, Sarah Vaughan, stuff like that. But
Count Basie type stuff,
so
The good stuff.
more that.
Well, that is good stuff. That's great music.
You have me intrigued now. I want to hear one of those songs.
A jazz tune.
You could do it.
I'm trying to think you can pretty much cover. I'm trying to think of the jazz tunes that were even covered by the bluegrass artists. Trying to think. You can jazz anything up pretty much.
Yeah. Well, if you know how. Someone like you can.
Just swing it. Yeah. Oh, now you put me on the spot.
Yeah.
You do have a very beautiful voice.
Oh, thank you so much.
I just wanted to comment on that.
Thank you.
It's very crystal clear. It's very good.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
Well, nice segue. You have a joint friend of ours, Mr. Buzzy Orange.
Yes.
And you are one of his students. How long have you been doing that?
I've been with him for almost 2 years.
Wow.
So coming upon that, and I've had a lot of different vocal coaches throughout the years, like my classical teachers in college, and a couple years with those, and then more contemporary. I worked with a few in Utah, one named Deborah Bonner, Melinda Hicks, and so that was a big change for me to go from like the classical style singing, like I did opera, and then going to like, okay, now we're going to do like the opposite of that. Of course, you need that. It's good to have that classical foundation.
Right.
But it's like, okay, the placement is totally different, and you're not going for that like open, like deep sound. You're going for more of that forward sound that you hear like with pop and more edgy sound. So I worked with a couple voice teachers there. I just had like one lesson with Seth Riggs, who was Michael Jackson's voice teacher, and did like a lot of different stars and things.
And don't that crack you up? Like, what did Michael Jackson really need vocal lessons on? It's like, I always cracked up, the world's greatest drummer had a drum teacher. And you're going, well, if you're the world's greatest, what do you need?
Maybe that's what I'm doing wrong.
But it's not so much to teach him his well, here's how you do a paradiddle or anything like it's that get your head out of the box, think of a different direction, think of mechanics.
Right.
So a lot of these vocal teachers, like Buzzy, who was Carrie Underwood's vocal coach, and people like Lori Morgan and Amy Grant.
If they would have worked a little bit harder, they could have been.
They could have been somebody. I saw Carrie Underwood freaking out last night at the Predators game. I thought that was kind of cool.
Catfish.
And then the catfish was thrown. Yeah, that guy became famous real quick. But how do you think
a catfish was thrown?
Yeah. I don't follow hockey, but the Nashville Predators has done a lot now for the inspiring Nashville, and it's brought a lot of people downtown, and the whole Broadway strip scene has been going crazy. There were 6,000 people downtown in one parking lot area. It has done a lot to revive. It's a hockey town now. I only watched hockey because of the Predators now, and I don't understand it. I see a bunch of guys hitting a black checker around. And then somewhere along the line, someone accidentally makes a goal, and I'm like, okay, I don't get the.
I like the fights in the middle of the arena.
Yeah. As Rodney Dangerfield said one time, he goes, "Yeah, I went to a boxing match when the hockey game broke out." But I was watching it, and they threw a catfish in the middle of the second period, and it has some symbolic meaning, and I don't know what that means, but they actually are in Pittsburgh. People that bought catfish, like in the recent past, you had to give them your name and telephone number and ID, so in case some catfish incident happened, they could pin down the people that bought catfish.
Wow.
So this guy bought a catfish from here, took it to Pittsburgh, stuffed it in his pants with cologne and Old Spice, had it gutted, and then during the middle of the second period, the beginning of the second period, he threw it on the ice and got caught. And he's charged.
Well, he smelled like the fish the rest of the night.
He's charged with multiple offenses, and he's famous.
To the fish.
Now. He's famous now, but
you knew something fishy was going on in the first place. Come on.
But it's supposed to be some sacrimonious thing, because after he threw the fish is when the Predators scored their 3 goals. So he's like a hero here, and I don't get that. Throw a dead fish on the ice. Woo! We're going to score goals now. I don't know, but anyway. So yeah, it's they've done. Yeah. What happened to football and basketball and stuff? I don't see no one throwing a goat or anything on the field or anything. But
can you imagine what he's going to be like in jail? What'd you get put in here for? I
I
had a fish in my pants.
He's not going to get any jail time. Matter of fact, the lawyers here are trying to get him pardoned from Pittsburgh. One of the restaurants going to pay all of his fines and legal fees. He's probably going to be.
Did they cook the fish?
Yeah. No, they scraped it up on a shovel in the ice. Sorry.
He has a story to tell his grandkids.
Yeah. Sorry, Annemarie. We got it. Buzzy goes, how did you get from me to a catfish? So back to Buzzy Orange and Buzzy Orange Studios. If you're interested in taking up lessons from Buzzy Orange, you go to buzzyorangestudio.com. He's taking students in all the time. His technique, was it way different than what you were used to in the past?
Yeah, it was. He uses a very older technique, and he had classical training as well, and so I really appreciated his approach. And so, yeah, like you're saying, as even the greatest people keep taking lessons. I feel like I'm going to be the more lessons I take, the less I know. Because it's the more you learn, you find the less I know. But Buzzy was a blessing to me to find, because he did have a certain approach, and I get really in my head and I get very focused on one thing, and it just in that box, and so it's hard for me to get away from something and just see it from a different angle. And Buzzy showed me a different way to kind of approach things, and his technique, I feel, really focuses on diction and pronunciation.
Yes.
And so opening your mouth and things that I learned with my other teachers and classical things, but the way that he presents it and puts that focus on it. Right. And I think that every teacher kind of has that, and I see that from every other teacher I've had, I really learned this technique well, or this aspect really well. And Buzzy he does have a very well-rounded approach to that, but I think that key is really just the simple thing of just opening your mouth.
Right. Yeah, and that's one thing he was talking about, with all the stars that he had. They came to him already, they can sing. They all can sing. He's got people that he works with going on albums all the time. They already can sing, but they don't open their mouth. And he's talking about stuff like you make a consonant, a vowel, and how you present the vowel. And yeah, I'm a drummer. I just beat stuff with sticks. So this guy is talking about changing the English language to the vowels and stuff. and you go, man, it's just way out there, and he's so good at it. And his students, everyone that come in here, they just blow us away. Every single one. Not every single one of them that's come in here blows us away.
Oh yeah.
They're a testament of just follow the exercises and do it, with your style, and he can take you a long way. So, but yeah, he gives you the tools, but it's up to you to take it from there.
Exactly.
So, Buzzy, if you're listening, we were glad you had you on the show last week. We had a big response to you on Facebook and the website. So thank you very much. I hope it worked out well for you too. But if you're interested in taking lessons from Buzzy Orange, go check it out, BuzzyOrangeStudios.com, and find out what it takes to become a student of his. So, also listening on the line, our good friend Jerry J. Thomas is listening tonight.
Yes, I forgot to mention him earlier.
Jerry, if you're still on the radio, still listening, because he's traveling from wherever he's from to Nashville tonight. So he's on the road, so he couldn't be with us. He's going to try to get down here tonight. But Jerry J., man, we love you. We're glad you're part of us, and keep hanging out there, keep playing them songs, and we'll get you in here in the studio in a week or two whenever he frees up some time. But Jerry, we're glad you're part of the brotherhood of WFNC Jam. So, Jason, you got some questions for this young lady?
Well, we're getting close to the end of the hour, so we better get a couple more songs spit out.
Oh, that's true. Do we have to do a commercial at 8 o'clock, Brian, or are we going to be able to just roll? We probably have to take a break.
We'll probably have to do the commercial to switch artists out.
Right. That'll
Would
probably
be a smart idea. Yeah. I'm not as dumb as I look.
No. Before we go into the last couple of songs, let's find out, do you have anything that's available that artists can, or people can, fans, I should say, buy off you, get off you, an EP of any kind, or songs?
Yes, I have an EP. You can get it on iTunes. Just search Annemarie Neff, and it's ANNEMARIE, and then Neff is NEFF as in Frank.
Okay.
So that's on Amazon Music, iTunes. I have a Facebook page as Annemarie Neff musician, and then Annemarieneffmusic.com.
Okay. So check that out. This will go on archive a little while after the show is over with. So if you want to get to that website information, you can go back and listen to the show and get her name, get her information from the website and the iTunes and stuff. Go ahead and play us another tune real quick.
Okay. You want this last one or?
No, we'll do two more.
Okay.
We'll do this one and then one more. So.
Okay.
It's our show. We make it go as long as we want to.
Okay, this is another tune I wrote, and this is called What I've Got. And this is basically just about being grateful for what you have, and so here we go. I want the bluebird outside my window, and not the raven saying nevermore. I want Publishers Clearinghouse to bring me a check, and not the debt collector at my door. I want a boy to call my own, instead of just being friends. I want to only work one day of the week and have 6-day weekends. Well, there's lots of things I want, but there's more things that I got, and I sometimes forget that fact. Well, instead of wishing, waiting, I should be concentrating on all that I have. I want to make a lot of money instead of $250 a week. I want a brand new car, and let's throw in a flat screen TV. I want the perfect complexion and never a bad hair day. And everywhere I go, in everything I do, I want it to go my way. Well, there's lots of things I want, but there's more things that I got, and I sometimes forget that fact. Well, instead of wishing, waiting, I should be concentrating on all that I have. Well, if it's all about the destination, I'll never be happy. Living in the moment's a sweet sensation. It's all about the journey. Take a little moment to find yourself, and you'll find you'll be glad that you did. Put all your worries up on the shelf, just like when you were a kid. Well, at least I don't have a car payment, and I don't even watch TV. So I guess all the things that I thought I wanted, I don't even really need.
shoes on my feet, and I've got a job to pay the bills and buy me food to eat. Well, there's lots of things I want, but there's more things that I got, and I sometimes forget that fact. Well, instead of wishing, waiting, I should be concentrating on all that I have. On all that I have. Thank you.
You know, I haven't had a bad hair day in 20 years.
I believe it.
If you get your hair done like mine.
No, you
Sometimes
pay for that, don't you?
I wish.
You pay for that, I think. I think you have a barber cut it like that.
His always stays perfectly parted. Have you ever noticed that?
Perfectly. Jason always has a perfect part. It's 8 inches wide, but it's a perfect part. So, well, we're so glad to have you on the radio station.
Thank you so much.
If you had any kind of advice you want to tell people out there that's trying to do what you're doing, they might be going for their masters. They might be thinking, should I become a doctor or just quit and become a musician? Any kind of maybe intellect you might want to tell them, kind of something you want to share with them?
I mean, I would say, if you can dream it, you can do it. And sometimes people will say, well, what's the logical thing to do? But I think you need to, really listen to what your heart is saying. As cliche as that sounds.
Very true.
Because, would you rather be rich and miserable or poor and happy? And I think that, they say if you do what you love, you'll never work a day in your life. And
that's why I'll stay poor the rest of my life.
And things work out. That's the thing, is like if you're going, you can't drive a parked car. So if you're wanting to further your education, if you're wanting to follow it seems like a crazy dream, and I'd say go for it, and at least you have the knowledge, like you've tried and failed, rather than you never know. So I think that's probably maybe a version of hell you could think of. It's like never knowing because you never tried.
Right.
And so,
see, you came out from Utah, via Nevada to Nashville, no job, no place to live. But now you've been here, you played places like Ireland. But that's because you made it happen. You worked at it. You hit the streets. You hit the clubs. You jumped on Craigslist. You networked.
Yes.
Whatever it took. And we can't stress that enough on this radio show. And we do primarily a lot of blue-collar artists that are out there just knocking the streets down. And I can tell you, they're the ones that are, you can rate success a bunch of different ways. It's not always financial. I know a lot of guys that they can make their house payment and they get their car payment, and they've got a little bit of money in the bank, but all they've ever done their whole life is play guitar. That's success. They don't have to be the next Warren Haynes or the next, bless his heart, we just lost a great one over the last couple of days, Greg Allman, but those are just very few that slip through the cracks to get that. There's a lot of the other ones that are just working hard, blue-collar people that are happy that they got the chance to do what they're doing. They're making money, and they're meeting people like yourself around different songwriter venues and enjoying it. So we wish you the best. You're doing a great job.
Thank you so
You have
much.
your own little style, and I like that. It's hard to classify you, which is a good thing. When they go, what am I? Oh, she's country. That one's blues. That one's bluegrass. You're kind of unique. You have that little twang a little bit, then you're bluegrass, and you kind of pull off almost just a regular contemporary pop song. So I like that. So
I'm going to call you Hickabilly.
Hickabilly. Wow,
I like
that's
it.
a good
Going
one.
in.
I like
Hickabilly.
that. But she's not hick, though. But I like the word. We'll have to use that for an artist that is. But she's not a hick.
What are you trying to say?
Coined a new genre.
If we get Chancey back, she's Hickabilly. But again, we wish you the best. Why don't you finish us off with one more song? Let's hear what you got there.
All right. This is another original tune, and this is called Brand New Day. Very bluegrassy gospel.
Okay.
Let's all go down to the river and not just to jump in. Let's all go down to the river and be baptized again. Let's all go down to the church and not just to pray. Let's all go down to the church 'cause it's a brand new day. Oh, let's you and I start river and not just to jump in. Let's all go down to the river and be baptized again. Let's all go up to the house as a happy family. Let's all come up to the house, my brother, sister, and me. While Daddy's in the field, Mama's in the kitchen, baking him sweet apple pie. She'll take every chance just to mention that Daddy is her guy. Oh, let's you and I come and meet with each other, husband and wife, sister and brother. Let's all come up to the house as a happy family. Let's all come up to the house, brother, sister, and me. Let's all go sail up to heaven on that holy ship. Let's all go sail up to heaven, it'll be quite a trip. Let's all go shout hallelujah and put our hands up in the air. Let's all go shout hallelujah, everybody's gonna be there. And they're singing hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Oh, down to the river, up to the church, to the house of the family. Let's all sail up to heaven, sing hallelujah with me. Hallelujah. Oh, let's all go down to the river and not just to pray. Let's all go down to the river, 'cause it's a brand new day. Brand new day. Brand new day. Thank you.
Very nice. A lot of words in there, boy, going fast. I couldn't keep up with her.
I was singing hallelujah. Hallelujah.
I was out of breath just watching her.
Yeah, that was great stuff. Great stuff. We did hit a comment back from our good friend Jerry J. Thomas. It's basically based off of our catfish little thing we're talking about. He says they throw pigs at a football game, thus calling the football a pigskin. Thank you, Jerry. But he's quite the hoot. So, again, if you find out wherever Jerry J. Thomas is playing, he plays around Crossville. He was just in Ohio not too long ago. Get out there and find that guy, Jerry J. Thomas. Find out where he's playing. Go and support him and his music. Great artist, great guy, good friend. So, with that, we're going to go ahead and sign off. We want to thank Miss Annemarie for putting up with us and our trouble. We're a kind of strange group here.
Thank you so much for having me. I had a great time. These
No
are
problem.
awesome.
Yeah, well, most of us. So, again, I want to thank the panel. Thank you, Brian, for putting us on. We want to thank Chris out there at heatfmradio.com. Thank you for putting us on. Again, we're going to take a quick break here. We're going to change artists and be right back with you. So, Brian, if you want to do the commercial and then kind of give us a time to switch some guitars around, we'll be right back with our next guest, Sean Gasaway.
You're listening to Music City's finest on the Nashville Songwriters Radio Network, NSRNlive.com.
We just turned it up. There we go.
We'll need to get a picture if we can.
Back to the music and interviews on the Midnight Madness Show, where it's always sunny and 82 degrees.
Well, good morning, Brian. Are we back live?
We are.
We are. Okay, we're going to get Sean Gasaway to come on up here and play for us real quick while he's playing. While he's playing a song, we're going to get a picture made, and we'll be right back with you. So, Sean, nice to have you with part of the show.
What's going on?
So,
Glad to be here.
We're going to let him go ahead and take a quick tune for us, get us broken into the show, and we'll be right back to find out more about Sean Gasaway.
There's more than breathing in and breathing out. If you truly know what living life's about, it's coming in hot like it a night. Take your best shot, you can't slow it down. One blink, another birthday's coming round. Another candle to blow out. You gotta live every day like it might be your last. Before you know it, your future is your past. The minutes will fly, don't let them slip by. Take the time to live, laugh and love. You better live every day, 'cause you only die once. And we're all just candles stricken from the match. And you can choose to be the fire or the wax. I'm gonna shine bright, light up tonight. Everybody's gonna know my name. It's not how long your candle gets to burn, no. It's the brightness of your flame. You gotta live every day like it might be your last. Before you know it, your future is your past. The minutes will fly, don't let them slip by. Take the time to live, laugh and love. You better live every day, 'cause you only die once. Only die once, you're done. You're done. You're done. You better live every day like it might be your last. Before you know it, your future is your past. The minutes will fly, don't let them slip by. Take the time to live, laugh and love. You better live every day, 'cause you only die once. You're done. You're done. You only die once. You're done. You're done. You're done. You better live every day. Oh, you better live every day, 'cause you only die once.
Thank you.
Very nice.
The
Turn
one
your
and only-
microphone on, will you?
Yeah, I got it. Hey, you know, the one and only Sean Gasaway.
Glad to be here.
Hey, we're glad to have you here, and I'm glad just to be here with the Midnight Madness Show.
It's the first radio interview I ever did where everybody walked out of the studio while I was singing. I promise this probably be the last.
Well, wait until you're in the second song and see what happens.
She's a little bit prettier than you are.
I hear you.
Yeah, tonight we're doing double duty. We have 2 artists tonight, so we always try to get our picture made with the artist. And we thought Brian was going to go to commercial and then go into like a little short segment so we could change artists out. And
It was 5 minutes.
They gave us 5 minutes, yeah, but we had to do a couple extra photo shoots. So, of course, the makeup on Jason just wasn't right, so we had to have makeup come in and coat him down a little bit. But
I need a lot more.
Go ahead,
help.
Andy. What do you want to ask Sean?
Well, we had Sean on the Nashville Night Show.
Right.
Me and Randy did here, and we were fortunate enough to actually listen to him perform live at Folk Fest here just a while back, and also at Collins Rivers Barbecue down in McMinnville, Tennessee. There, he performed a couple of his songs, but that one song there, it did bring back a memory of, and he had expounded on why he wrote the song. Which Sean attends one of the most prestigious, songwriters festival that's held each year. And that song there, it's unique because he actually got to sit at a table that only few are chosen to be able to sit at. And at that certain table there, you've had the greats such as Willie Nelson, many that have sat there, and Chris Christopherson. And so for that song there, I remember Sean had mentioned that there was a gentleman that had made a comment right before you actually sat down at that table.
Well, actually, I just sang a song.
So, okay.
Which over the years, I've been going to the Frank Brown Festival for the last 6 or 7 years now. And I finally worked my way up to that table. Because you can only fit about 5 people around it at a time.
Mm-hmm.
And I just got done playing a song, and this cat sitting behind me, he just goes, and he said, "Man, I missed the last 2 years of this festival." He said, "I bet I don't miss another one because you only live once." And I turned around and looked at him, and with some Chinese eyes, as they say, I looked at him and said, "No, bro, you live every day. You only die once." And as soon as I said that, I went, whoop.
Write that down.
I wrote that down in my phone there because that hadn't been written yet. So
yeah.
I got hooked up with my bud Dan Mitchell, who's a songwriter. He wrote, "If you're going to play in Texas, you got to have a fiddle in the band." And I hooked up with him, and I said, "Look, you've been writing all these songs that sucks over the years. It's about time we write something that's good." So we ended up writing that one, which I'm blessed to have written it with him. It's a cool song.
We're very fortunate to have you here tonight with
Honored
us.
to be here.
Even though you're right now sitting in front of the panel, as we would say.
I love it.
The panel, yeah, that's
the
what it
panel.
is.
Yeah.
I can see he's scared.
He saw the part of the first show, and he goes, "That poor girl, and I'm next."
She did great, by the way. Annemarie, right?
Yeah.
She was awesome. Y'all need to check her out.
She is
I'm
awesome.
sure you guys probably run around the same circles. You just don't know it yet. So this
I'm
is,
not sure. Because I don't stay in Nashville often.
Oh, well, that's
Stay
true.
in Nashville.
On the road kind of guy.
Well, since you're new to the Midnight Madness show, let's find out a little bit more about you. Where'd you come from?
I grew up in Escatawba, Mississippi, which is about 8 miles north of the Gulf Coast.
Huh. And what was the name of the city?
Escatawba. It's an Indian word for dog.
For dog, huh?
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry.
And the theme music to Escatawba is that music right there on his phone, right there. Anyway, I grew up in Escatawba, Mississippi, and went to high school there, and was just going to be a hometown kid, going to school, getting a job, retiring, and dying, which is normally what people do in my town. And but when I became a teenager, I picked up my dad's old guitar because he quit playing for a while, and I said, I'm going to teach myself some chords. So I just sat around in my bedroom. I'd go to school, get home from after school activities, football or whatever I was doing at the time, and then I'd play till bedtime trying to learn chords on the guitar, and my dad would show me a chord or two, and then I'd figure one out on my own, and I would think, man, I believe I just made up a chord. I said, because I've never heard anybody else play that chord, even though if it sucked or not. I thought it was my chord. But so at 14 years old, I wrote my first song. And
Do you remember what it was?
the name of it's called Second Chance, and no, I can't play it, but I'll just go ahead and throw that out there right now. But no, I was at home. Me and my brother shared a room, and And I was at home watching TV and had my guitar in my hand, and there was a margarine commercial that came on called Promise. Margarine. And the hook of the commercial was, because it's what's in your heart that counts. And I thought, man, that's a great line for a song. So I started the first song I wrote with that line, if it's what's in your heart that counts, then I'm not counting anymore. That was the first lines of the song. And so I wrote this piece, and then I just caught the bug. You know, I said, no, I'm going to try to write more. And as I went through high school, some of my buddies, my cousin, we all picked around together. And, you know, when we got out of high school, we figured out real quick that if you played music, the girls dug you. So
that's the only reason I picked up a guitar.
So we picked around at parties, and we started a band, and through our late teens into our early 20s, we all did the same thing. We went to college for a minute, then we all went to the shipyard and went to work. I mean, that's what everybody does in South Mississippi, especially before the casinos came. You worked at the shipyard or you didn't work. You know, that's just the way it was. And, so we all were working at the shipyard, and we had a band, and we were getting pretty popular. And as bands happen, you know, they break up and new bands start. And we just all kind of still did music together, but we were all doing our own thing. You know, I was writing. I had a little studio set up in my home. By that time, I had moved out, and me and my wife had our first daughter. And so I had my little thing set up in the home, and then, you know, one band led to another, and then this group of young guys, part of them from my old band and part young kids from another school, got together and created a rock group 3 Doors Down. And we recorded their first demo in my house, and we were all just jamming together and writing. And then all of a sudden, the song Kryptonite came out and hit the local radio stations, and phew, you know, they took off. And so they got the record deal and hit the road. And I said, well, I'm going to move to Nashville, because songwriting and producing was kind of my niche. I liked doing that a lot. And I was still singing some, but mostly songwriting. So they hit the road, and I moved to Nashville. And for about the first 5 or 6 years, I had a job, like Annemarie was talking about earlier. You come to town, you find a job. I looked up and got on with the railroad. So, you know, I went from making hardly nothing at a shipyard to, you know, $70,000 a year as a electrician for the railroad. So I had it, you know, if I do the music thing, I had a safety net. You know, I was like, I can do what the heck I wanted to. So worked at the railroad for several years, and I'd work 8 to 10 hours there, and then I'd go to the studio and do 8 to 10 hours, and then I'd go home and go to sleep for 4. That was every day. And then, you know, just kept writing, and then the internet thing was really starting to take off. I guess it was in the late 90s, but in early 2000s, you know, there was a lot more social media like MySpace, and I don't think Facebook was out yet, but there was a lot of message boards and things like that. And American Idol had posted they were going to have a songwriting contest to go with the first couple of episodes of the show, or the seasons of the show. And that whoever won the contest was the finale song. I said, well, heck, I got some songs that'll fit that. So I went in the studio all on my own. I found a singer and recorded a bunch of stuff and started submitting, and one of them hit and became a finalist in the competition. It didn't win, unfortunately, but it opened a lot of doors. So, you know, I had producers from L.A. calling me like, who did your record and all that stuff? I said, I did. You know, where'd you do it? What studio? At my buddy's studio. You know, we just brought in the best players and started making records. And so, you know, one thing led to another. Next thing I know, I'm producing records like a fool. Even though people was interested in my songs I was writing, they were more interested in the sound that we were getting out of the studio. So for the next 5 or 6 years, I did nothing but produce records. So I worked at the railroad, you know, an 8-hour shift, and I was at the studio another 8 to 12 hours, and then go home and sleep every night. So that's kind of how I started going at it, real hardcore anyway.
There's something that has to be said about, you know, Southern artists, whether it be rock, country, you know, any style that pertains to that. But the one thing that pretty much would stand out the most about your character is that hard work and persistence is what builds you as an individual, and keeping that drive to want to go ahead with your dream, like she had mentioned earlier, you know, you're going to have to give up something in order to achieve what you really want. And, you know, thank God, you know, there other people were out there that actually witnessed that and said, okay.
Well, I did
there's
the pound the
talent
pavement
here.
thing. I went to Nashville, and, you know, my first experience downtown was funny. I went to BMI, and I walked in, and I had only been in town probably a week. And I said, I need to sign up with somebody because I write songs. And, you know, she said, we got a website. You can go to that.
Yes.
And that was kind of
We've been
her
there,
way of
Jason.
doing it.
Oh, yes, yes, we have.
So I walked out the door, and I said, well, it's going to be like this, huh? So I went to ASCAP, and I walked into ASCAP and walked up to the lady's desk, and I said, I'm a songwriter. I need to find a PRO to join, and that's a performance rights organization. For anybody that doesn't know, I always call them PROs for short. But anyway, I walked up in there, and I said, I need a PRO. And she said, would you like a glass of water, and I'll get you the paperwork. And then I said, okay, I'm joining y'all, because this lady was cordial and, you know, offered me a cup of water or whatever, you know. So I joined ASCAP then. But that was my first experience of how the town was going to be. So I pitched songs around. And, of course, everybody you pitch to, even publishers, that's the thing. If there's any songwriters listening in that are trying to break, you got to remember you're pitching songs to your competition. They don't want your song. It don't matter how good it is. 99% of the time, your song's not going to be nothing better than what they already got, and they'll tell you that. What we're hearing is nothing. We already have stuff this good or better. So you have to get in that mindset. Okay, this is Pepsi trying to tell Coke how to make soda, pretty much. So you got to get in that mindset. So I just gave him the middle finger and said, I'll do it on my own, and that's what I did. I went in the studio, cut my own songs, started pitching songs to people. You know, I faked it till I made it. You know, I made people think I was somebody and I wasn't, but, you know, I kept sending stuff. And, you know, there is something to say about it being good. You know, you have to really believe in what your product that you're putting out there. If you have an inkling of doubt, like, man, maybe this song does suck, I don't know if I would buy it, then throw it in the trash. Because if you can't believe in it yourself, nobody else is going to.
Let me stop you right there. That's where I see a lot of artists have their shortcomings.
Yeah.
Just because you wrote a song and it sounds something totally unique or different doesn't mean it's good.
Right.
Listen to it. I hear stuff all the time, and we're going, did you hear that song? I mean, you don't believe it. It ain't coming out of your mouth. You're not. I can't feel the song coming out of you. And what makes you think that that's going to hit all them great songs out of Nashville? There's a million people up there doing that. And you're right. What makes your song? But you've got to sell that song. You've got to believe that song. I just tell people, take a realistic look at not just your songwriting, but your playing. Artists that, you know, well, that guy's a great drummer, a great guitar player. He's got to look inside himself. There's a billion great guitar players out of Nashville, and they're all phenomenal, and they're all working for Domino's and Papa John's and stuff, and they're all fighting to get that record deal or get that something on Music Row. But the ones that believe in themselves, that really work hard at it, that push that stuff out, and when you hear them play, you're going, that's the guy.
Yeah.
That's the guy. There's very few of those out there, and you've got to be one of those if you want to do something on that level. And that's what you were showing. That's what you were saying. So.
Yeah, exactly. And you just have to you have to be objective in your own product, you know,
right,
in what you do. And it's the same goes with co-writing too. Annemarie was talking earlier about coming to town, never have co-written. Luckily, I started co-writing a long time ago with friends. We did it at home. You know, we would write my buddy's single wide trailer, and that's all we did. You know, is drink beer and write songs or whatever, and go play parties. So I already had an aspect of, you know. Well, let me back that up. I knew what it was like for me to co-write with people, but it was always with friends. So I still, to this day, if I write with somebody and we don't strike off a friendly relationship, because it happens, you're not going to dig everybody you write with. But if you strike off a friendly, you know, conversation or a feeling that, hey, we could be friends, stick with them. That's who you need to write with, you know. And you know, my circle of friends I write with is small. You know, I probably write with 10 people in a year, but we'll write 300 songs or something, you know, whatever you know, whatever's necessary to write, to pitch around and do what we do. But
Can I be number 11?
oh yeah, we've been talking about that. And you know, but I've just been blessed to be able to, you know, the American Idol thing opened up a lot of doors on the production side. It introduced me to, you know, music in Europe. One of the songwriters that was in the competition that was a finalist, he flew to America because what they did is at the end of the show they took all the the finalist songs and compilated them and was selling them for charity. So I ended up producing that record. But some people came over from Europe and they introduced me to a young band over there that was in Iraq. And the next thing I know, 2 weeks later, I'm in London watching them play live because I thought if I'm going to sign these guys, I got to see what they sound like live, you know. I wasn't going to just go buy a CD. And so I dabbled in that, and I got to go to Europe and Ireland and thing as a producer and as a manager in management. But and everything was going good, man. I was high on life. I had a good job with the railroad. I was making just about as much in production as I was making at the railroad on the side. You know, to me that was side money. You know, just hanging out and doing budgets and getting budgets in for our records. And I was on a golf course one day shooting some golf, and I was pretty good at it at one time. And I got on the third hole. This was in 2012. I got on the third hole, and something inside of me just struck me like they call it a God smack. When you get smacked from God, I'm telling you, that's what it was. And I came off the green, just made a nice par, threw my clubs in the cart. I went to my truck, threw my clubs in the truck and went home, and my wife worked at home at the time. She looked at me and she said, "What the heck you doing home? You ain't been gone an hour." I said, I was told to write. I was told to get back to writing. So I had like 6 or 7 production projects waiting for me to start on. And I called my friend Chris, who's in the rock band 3 Doors Down. I said, "Chris, man, won't you produce these projects or help me? Because I got something else I got to do." So a lot of stuff went to him, and he started working on. And I just started writing. And, you know, when you get struck from the man upstairs to do something, and you do it, you'll be provided for. That's the truth. I think you said that earlier. And, you know, 6 months later, I got a top 40 song on the radio that I wrote, and then 8 months later, I'm on the 50-yard line at Heinz Field singing it in the national anthem in front of 70,000 people, which is insane. Insane.
It's just a self-actualization that you have when you feel God say, "Here, this is it," you know. And then when you say, "Okay, I'm just going to do it, and I'm going to think about it," you know, sometimes you got to jump in and not worry and just go forward, because you don't know where the road's going to take you, but He'll open the doors. I can attest. I'm sitting here with you guys, and I'll say that.
What was
not
it?
Afraid to, but I'll say that I'm sitting on this panel.
That's right.
With
That's
these guys,
right.
you know. But
what was it like the first time you heard your song on the radio?
Honest to God, it was like nothing. It was like, you know, it meant more to my daughter and my wife and my friends and my family than it did to me. Because to me, it was proof that what I was doing was worthy, I guess you can say. You know.
You already had it on the radio. In your mind, you already had it on the radio.
Yeah, I mean.
It was there already.
I wasn't the type to call people and say, "Hey, man, it's on the radio," you know, and, you know, the people that were in my close circle was doing that, you know, "Hey, it's being played and all." But when I heard it, I thought, you know, I made it. You know, if nothing happens more than right now, then, you know, then I'm cool, because I made a goal that I set. You know, honestly, I was in a band in 1999, and we opened for Hank Williams Jr., and to be honest with you, that was the pinnacle, because I thought, if I ever play on the same stage as Hank Jr., then that's it. Right. I've done the best I'm ever going to do, and anything past that's icing on the cake, and I promise you, I still believe that today. Everything else is icing on the cake, because Junior and George Jones and them guys was my idols.
Right.
you know, and just to say I played on the same stage as this cat, you know, I was, you know, nothing could beat that ever.
How old were you at that time?
Woo. In 99, I was 26, 27 maybe.
Okay. What was
I
the
just
name of
turned
the band?
45 last week.
Oh,
So,
okay, that's
yeah.
cool. You still look awful young. So, what was the name of the band that you were on stage with?
It was the Crystal England Band. It was a girl. She was an artist, and she had a deal with Sony, a developmental deal, and I was in the group with. We were kind of like what Sugarland would have been. You know, it was a guy-girl thing.
Right. That's cool.
Well, why don't you play your hit?
Oh, okay.
I was thinking.
Yeah, this old stupid song here.
If I knew the dance, I'd do it for you.
Huh?
If I knew the dance, I'd do it.
Yeah, that was a trip. First one I ever had line dance to. It's called Stomp. Way down here, we pick it off the vine. Everybody love their homemade wine. Growing on the trees, growing on the ground. Folk come from miles around to stomp, stomp, shake their rump. Everybody here got it going on. Barefoot girls, no heels or pumps. Getting down to our own hip hop. Stomp, stomp, everybody jump. Do-do in a two-step clomp. Down on the bayou or out in the swamp. If you ain't in it, it's your own dang fault. Stomp. Way down here, we think it's a pity they don't stomp in New York City in the business suits and their shoes that shine. So uptight it ought to be a crime. They gotta stomp, stomp, shake their rump. Everybody here got it going on. Barefoot girls, no heels or pumps. Getting down to our own hip hop. Stomp, stomp, everybody jump. Do-do in a two-step clomp. Down on the bayou or out in the swamp. If you ain't in it, it's your own dang fault. Stomp. My mama didn't believe it was a hit till they did a line dance to it. I ain't lying. The left leg up, spin it all around, stomp it hard down on the ground. Right leg up, repeat step one. Stomping's all about having fun. You gotta stomp, stomp, shake your rump. Everybody here got it going on. Barefoot girls, no heels or pumps. Getting down to our own hip hop, I said. Getting down to our own hip hop, I said. Getting down to our own hip hop. Yeah, stomp, stomp, everybody jump. Do-do in a two-step clomp. Down on the bayou or out in the swamp. If you ain't in it, it's your own dang fault. Stomp. Stomp, stomp, shake your rump. Barefoot girls, no heels or pumps. Everybody stomp.
Now, after the Folk Fest, I did go on and watch the training video.
Oh, did you? How'd you like that?
Oh, I enjoyed it very much.
I'm sure you did.
Andy was over there
I'm sure you
dancing.
did.
Hey, I was shaking my rump and I was stomping.
I was trying not to look. Sorry.
That was Jason Mitchell. Jason Mitchell cut that, and he just re-released it actually about a month ago. So he put it on his new album. So this is the second time it's been out officially.
So I'm sure it's like official that when they get in line to do the line dance to that song, all the ladies have to kick off their shoes, right? You can't do it with
would be
shoes
nice. You can do it with boots on. Yeah.
Well, yeah, okay. I'm gonna steal this mic for
And
a
the
second.
Pittsburgh Steelers fans do it with a terrible towel. So.
Okay.
And a catfish on the ice.
You know what I heard?
Let's get
about
over the
that?
catfish,
We were
man.
talking about that earlier. It's because penguins eat fish. That's why they threw the fish out there.
Oh, there you go.
There's the answer.
Yeah, that's what I heard. Now, I could be wrong.
No, that makes sense. That makes sense. See, you don't just learn about music.
But that wouldn't be a
you learn about
catfish.
sporting events and
Could
stuff.
it be any fish? They just chose a catfish.
Probably because it's
Because
cheap.
penguins don't eat catfish, obviously.
It'd probably be harder to take a cod with you out there.
Yeah, there you go. I'm sorry, sir.
But
What's that
you
in your
could get
pants?
that
It's
already-
my pod.
You could get that already filleted,
Sure it
and
is.
it wouldn't be as nasty. So,
Sorry.
I'm just saying.
I had to run with it. Sorry.
about that. I went with y'all.
Sorry. I'm going to blame that one on Sean.
Blame me, please.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Anyway, what I wanted to say really quick, I don't know how really quick. Shush. Quit laughing at my mic.
He's got a mind full of cod.
Usually.
That'd be the heartthrob.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
him.
He's
Giggling
out of
schoolgirl
control.
over here. Anyway, I just wanted to say what's really cool about all this, that we're all here together now, which is very odd because the way that I met you, because I didn't meet you through this radio station. They already knew you. But when I was doing the Folk Fest, and I still don't exactly know how you found out about Folk Fest.
Yeah, I'm sure it was a
You don't-
Facebook post. or
Yeah,
something.
just a randomly odd, strange thing. I had no idea who Sean Gasaway was. And he contacts me, and you messaged me, I think on Facebook. And when I read his little bio thing, I was like, oh my God, this guy, I can't pay him. He's way too big to be doing this thing that I'm doing. And so I gave him my phone number, and we finally talked, and we talked, I think, for like an hour or something. Incredibly great guy. You really are, and you really gave me a lot of words of inspiration during all that.
And just to go along with the story for folks that are listening, that are like, man, I'd like to do festivals and stuff. It's not hard to do. All you got to do, they got this little search magnifying glass on Facebook. And it's either me or my daughter, my oldest daughter is my assistant. We'll either one of us will get on there, and you just type festivals and search, and the next thing you know, all these posts come down. Hey, I'm doing this festival and stuff. And I'm a working person. I could sit home and not do nothing and be cool. The railroad job I left years ago because I do music full time now. So, but I like to work. I like to play. I like to play at places I haven't played yet. And so just little things, Google or Facebook. That's how I found yours.
yeah.
Is I just put festivals in the search bar.
That's what I was
Next thing
going to
you know,
say.
people post, hey, I'm playing here, and then I reach out to those that are putting the festival on.
That's what I was going to say. That's what's so cool about it is because even though you had already had what you've had, for you to still be doing things like that and still just constantly promoting yourself and reaching out for the smaller little things, I mean, it just shows you are an incredibly hard worker.
Yeah,
But it's do I? Oh yeah, you
No,
have,
you
to,
have
be.
to be.
Yeah, but I just thought that was just really cool. It was just a very humbling
it was
thing
cool
to get
that
to
you-
meet you that way. And then this happened, and I met these guys randomly, and they invited me out here. So hey, Folk Fest
you
has
reaching
been a
back
cool
out
thing.
and saying, yeah, what have you, is rare too. I mean, that's another thing that goes along with it. You got to reach out to 100 gigs to get one.
Yep.
If you don't do that type of math, you're done. You might go back home, or go. Actually, that's the best place to be is go home, play your home area, play in front of your friends. If you're not willing to go after it, then play where you're comfortable, do what you're comfortable with. But in order to really make it, you got to play the numbers, and you just keep your fingers crossed that somebody gives a crap about what they read. Most people don't read my bio. And I'm not out there trying to say, hey, I'm Sean, I just got the new Cowboy Troy cut. Inside my heart, that's how I feel. I'm excited about it.
But you're the Sean Gasaway wanting to share Sean Gasaway's music.
Yeah.
That's the difference. Really, that's what every artist is trying to do. Is really they want people to actually hear them for them and what
Yeah.
they're giving them.
I love the songwriter thing. It's awesome.
That's it. That's what songwriting is. I mean, it's if you can't feel it when they're singing, then it's absent. There's nothing there for a listener to receive. I mean, that's it. You know, if there's no heart in it, when you can feel a song when it's flat.
Yeah.
If it's just something somebody's doing, you know, to try to promote or produce, rather than it being something that's real, that when they're actually singing, you can feel the soul in it. You know, that's it. You know, that's what creates legends, is the fact that when they're singing, all of a sudden you start feeling so much more coming out when they're singing. It's them.
Now, this is your third time on our station, because you did the Nashville Night Show with Randy. You did the Folk Fest, which was also broadcast on the
That's
station.
right.
And then now...
I'm wearing this out, ain't I? That's all right. I dig it.
Plus, we have your album.
Yeah.
So...
But again, I think the one thing that Sean and Annemarie both said is they just work it. They work it hard. If you can't work it, then it ain't worth it. I mean, you got to get out. You got to work it. I can't tell you how many people I have seen that has come in and got a great voice. They can play phenomenal, and they just go, well. And you know, you and I have an experience with a young lady who had the looks, had the talent, had everything you wanted, except for the dedication and the heart. And she's working
And
as
a
a
rotten attitude to go
cosmetologist.
with it.
Yeah, works as a cosmetologist. You have got to sacrifice, put in the hours, hit the streets.
And now he's stuck with me as
and now
a
I'm
singer
stuck
for
with
the
you here. So, but like Sean said, he was Google searching, or his daughter Google searched. Hit every festival. Buzzy Orange was talking about Carrie Underwood. Said, you know, when she was 8, she was playing every rattlesnake roundup, every 4-H fair, every carnival, everything she could play. People think Carrie Underwood just was an overnight success. She had 8 years, 10 years work under her belt before she went on American Idol. She's not an overnight success. Jim Croce, my favorite line he's ever said was when he got his first gold album, man. I watched him the night that he got his gold album. They said, what's it feel like to be an overnight success? He goes, it took me 25 years to get here. 25 years to be an overnight success. And you were like, people forget, you got to work it. It might not come as fast as you want it, but
that's for sure.
It'll never show up if you don't work it.
Yeah, one of my good friends wrote the song Old Red, and I said, when did you write that song? He said, 20 years. Wait, no, I said, no, he said that song became a hit 20 years and 20 minutes ago. It took him 20 minutes to write it. And he's right, you know, it takes a lot of work, and it's almost like comparing a chef with a great recipe that sits there in his own kitchen and looks at it.
Right.
And nobody ever tastes it because he ain't got the guts or whatever to go out there and do it, you know.
Yep.
It takes a lot of guts. You know, not everybody can handle a no. That's
Right.
the biggest problem.
You got to be, be able to stand up to rejection, bad criticism. Don't read everything that comes in the paper, good or bad.
Right.
But a lot of people are afraid to fail. And how many times have people shut the door on you and you just go right through another one? Just go right through another one.
And another good piece of advice, too, is be the guy that writes the bad stuff and then put it under somebody else's name. That dude's a jack.
That's
Here, Jason, this is your name.
Yeah, yes. I was going to say that. That's what they keep doing to me.
Well, see, the problem with that is that's the song that's going to hit it, and you're going to go, what? Are you kidding me? What does the fox say? Are you kidding me?
Hey.
If that song can make it, and you know that was a joke coming right out of it.
Okay. Country music. Chew tobacco, chew tobacco, chew tobacco, spit. Horrendous. Blake Shelton, horrendous. But, again, you could throw in, you like to play it. We play it in your band all the time. And Your favorite song.
Oh, yeah, one of my favorite songs. I mean, this guy's got 1 million great songs. But Abracadabra by Steve Miller? Seriously?
It's the hook.
I love that.
You know,
man.
Stomp is in that category. I got a funny story real quick. When
Okay.
Stomp was about 8 weeks into radio promotion, and it had already got picked up on some Billboard stations. And I'll never forget, the record label would actually send me the radio promotion data because I requested. I said, hey, I want, because I dabble in, we're only talking about me as a songwriter tonight, but I do a lot more than songwriter. I'm in the record label business, publishing and all that. So I requested the data, and there was a country radio station in Brooklyn, New York,
They have a country station there?
Yeah, in Brooklyn, New York.
Wow.
And the way a lot of the radio promotion stuff will come in, especially during ads, is you'll get an Excel spreadsheet and it'll have the station ID and whether or not they're going to play it, and if it's been played, how many spins during tests and all that. Well, this guy, and around the same time Stomp came out, Ronnie Dunn had released a single as well. And this was one of his first singles to release that wasn't Brooks and Dunn. He was doing a solo thing. And the Brooklyn, New York program director put on there Past. He said, "This is the worst country record I've ever heard in my life. ... Wait a minute. I just listened to Ronnie Dunn's new single. It's not the worst record I've heard in my life." That's what he said. And I thought, you know what? I like that guy. He was an honest guy, because the Stomp song was either you loved it or you hated it. Right. There was nobody in the middle. Never that said, that's a pretty good song. It's okay. No, they either loved it or hated it. So, it started out as, a joke between me and my oldest daughter when the idea come, and it just exploded from there, which is cool. I'll accept it. I dig the song. But it is funny about that, how, you got to take criticism every which way it comes.
When you mentioned you were at the 50-yard line at Heinz Field, which has to be spectacular. Spectacular. How'd you get contacted about that? And was that like somebody's joking me on this one?
No, actually, when the record was it was shooting up pretty quick. The record label that Jason was with at the time worked with the Steeler organization, and a lot of the major labels, supply the music through music libraries and things like that. So I was actually on tour for myself then, and I got a call that says, "Would you be available the Sunday coming up in a couple of weeks in Pittsburgh?" And I said, "Well, no, I'm actually booked already." And I was at the Floribama. I was booked at Floribama, which is a gig I never canceled.
Right.
People in the business, there's only certain places that you should never cancel when you get the opportunity to play there, and the Floribama's one of them. Don't do it. And they said, the Steelers has decided to pick up Stomp as a theme song. The NFL has already approved it. This was like week 3 of the season when they approved it. And I was like, really? And then that next Sunday night, I'm at home watching the Steelers was on Sunday Night Football, and all of a sudden it comes out on the TV screen, and they're playing it, and I'm sitting there going, my daughter's going, "Dad, that's coming through the TV. You don't realize that, don't you?" I was like, "Oh, I wasn't even thinking about it. It was coming through the Sunday Night Football program," and they were playing it. But they called and they said, "We'd really like for y'all to come do the song and the national anthem." Jason, they called Jason Mitchell, and I was down at the Bama when the real call came, and they said, "Hey, it's gonna happen. We need you up there Sunday." This was on a Thursday. Played my Friday night gig. I told the Bama, I was like, "I'm gonna have to cancel Saturday. This is just too big to pass up." Which they love me, and they're like family to me. They understood. I played my Friday night gig, got done at 1 o'clock in the morning, drove all the way to Nashville, got back home at 7 or 8 Saturday morning, took a 3-hour nap, drove to Pittsburgh, was there at about 9 o'clock at night, went straight to the hotel room, slept, got up with with Jason's team, and we were on the 50-yard line doing sound check at 10 a.m. It was like nothing. I mean, it was like that. And then the stadium filled up, and we played our music. Then I had to be in Huntington, West Virginia the next day for the railroad. So it like went by that fast. And my buddies I used to work with, they said, "What'd you do this weekend?" I said, I just sang the national anthem at the Steelers game yesterday. Stomp. Of course, they didn't believe me. But I said, "Yeah, that really just happened." It was really a fast-moving time, but unforgettable at the same time, if that makes sense. You know?
So do you have to wear a Steelers jersey, or you wore your own clothes?
No, I wore my own clothes, and we went out and did we did an acoustic. Stomp, we sang it to the track. They played it over to PA, and then we did an acoustic national anthem. And we came off the field, high-fived Ben Roethlisberger and the team, and then went to the box up there and watched the game.
Who did they play?
It was Detroit, and the winner went to the playoffs.
Wow. Pittsburgh won, I guess.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
They won every home game since they started playing Stomp. That was one of the big reasons why they wanted us there, because they felt it was good luck for their
Isn't that
team.
crazy? I mean, that's crazy. I mean, they believe it so much that they'll do anything to get you there. I mean, these sports stars, especially, are so superstitious. But your song was the big one, and they weren't going to take any chance of going to the playoffs. So if you didn't play it and they got beat, it's your fault that the Steelers didn't go to the field.
Yeah, we would have been.
You'd have been that guy from
trouble.
Wrigley Field that interfered with the fly ball, that cost the Cubs a possible chance to go to the World Series. Yeah. You'd have been that guy. So good thing you went and you sang.
You better spit out our song.
Yes.
Yeah, we do know the song. Exactly.
Oh, okay. I'll play one off my album. All right. I do have an album for sale. So those who want to find my stuff, just look up SeanGasaway.com or iTunes and all that stuff. But this is one off my album that gets a pretty good bit of response to. This is called This Bar Is My Church.
I'm in a place I never thought I'd be. I come here every night religiously and testify to whoever will listen to me while I plead. That pickle jar is my collection plate. The more I give, the stronger drinks they make. A double shot of holy water's the communion I take. For my heartache, this bar is my church. It's good for my soul. It's where I find comfort when I'm losing control. On my darkest days, I drop to my knees, and I pray for healing in this sanctuary. This bar is my church. Hope and salvation are the reasons we come, seeking redemption for the wrongs been done. Brothers and sisters drowning demons till the battle is won. Pour another one. This bar is my church. It's good for my soul. It's where I find comfort when I'm losing control. On my darkest days, I drop to my knees, and I pray for healing in the sanctuary. This bar is my church. This bar is my church. This bar is my church. It's good for my soul. It's where I find comfort when I'm losing control. On my darkest days, I drop to my knees, yeah, and I pray for healing in this sanctuary. This bar is my church. This bar is my church. This bar is my church. It's good for my soul. It's where I find comfort when I'm losing control.
What a
Thank you.
other artists do you look at that you really enjoy their writing or their singer-songwriter type? Other than Jason, of course, yeah. I knew that was a given.
What's your nickname again? I got to do that again.
The Hillbilly,
Oh, yeah.
Well, I'm glad you said it before I did because it was.
That's a good wrestling name, man. I'd be a manager for you, right?
Good wrestling name. Did you hear that? Wrestle. Hey, y'all want to wrestle?
Wrestling name.
So,
well, when you got songs called, what was that song? The Twinkie.
Twinkie.
That Twinkie daggum song that you do. What is that? Say the name of it. You know the name of it. I don't.
Apparently not. The Twinkie song.
It's the Ding Dong song.
The Ding Dong song.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
come on.
I don't know the writer of that one.
Yeah. So let's go back to other than Jason. What artists do you really find?
Well, you know, I'm more in today's world. A lot of the artists write. I mean, the best way to get a cut today is write with the artist. But it's still a songwriter-driven industry. Michael Garvin, who is a killer soul, smooth jazz type guitarist and musician, but his songwriting style, he wrote Waiting for the Night for Jennifer Lopez. He wrote I Tell It Like It Used to Be, T. Graham Brown's big hit, If Your Heart's Not in It, Janie Freaky. I mean, that's just 3 of the 25 number ones he's written. You know, so I aspire to be somebody like Michael, and Michael co-wrote This Bar's My Church with me, and along with Dan Mitchell. Dan wrote that with us as well. Dan Mitchell's another songwriter that, you know, I wouldn't be sitting here today without Dan and Michael at all, because they taught me a whole lot of stuff about songwriting, about how to put yourself out there in a way that's a little bit different than anybody else, you know, but you still get the point across simple, in a simple way. My buddies 3 doors down, they still writing hits. I mean, it's, you know, the stuff we were writing in the 90s was called rock, and the stuff that we're writing today is called country, and it's the same.
It's the same stuff.
Same music. You know?
3 Doors Down, what a great band.
Yeah, they're some good boys. They've had, you know, they've had a lot of changes over the years. We lost one of the original members back in August to a drug overdose, and you know, and then another one of the original members, he left the band a few years ago because he got in some legal troubles, and so today's band's not the same as it used to be, but Brad was always writing the lyrics, and Chris, and you know, now they got Chet writing the music side of the songs, and they've held true to what they do this whole time, which is really awesome.
I saw them at Indianapolis, at the Indianapolis 500. They played their race day. And, of course, when they came out and did Kryptonite, which was their last song, I believe, that they did the set, I mean, you had 200,000 people at the racetrack just all go crazy. That song was just a huge hit, huge success for them. Still a great song to this day. I've been in a lot of cover bands that want to play that.
And Matt Roberts, rest in peace, you know, he's the brains behind that song. He was the melody on the guitar.
Yeah.
That was so catchy. You know, it's one of them songs, when it plays, you know what's fixing to come on. They ain't even got to say, what song is this?
Yeah.
That's what I was going to say. I saw them, though that was one of the bands that, you know, only knew their radio songs, like that one, and I think they had one or probably about 2. I saw them in like 2000, 2001 maybe. They were one of the headliners for the Buzz Fest. Yeah. It was like the second year of the Buzz Fest. And I saw them there, and man, when they came out and performed, it was like, oh my God. Like, I mean, every single thing they did, I was just so into it. And by the time they were done, I was a fan. I was like, they, you know, live, they put on a freaking amazing live show.
But that's an old school mentality bands, though. I mean,
they had
a
real
melody,
band.
they had a hook, they had great music, they put it all together, they performed it right. And, I mean, they had 4 or 5 major tunes that made it to video and on the aircraft carrier and all that. Every one of their songs I thought was memorable and worthy of being where it was at. It was good stuff.
When we started writing years ago, and this is even before Brad and Mac came into the picture, you know, we always wanted to write stuff that people would just get. You know, I didn't want to be complicated, didn't want it to, you know, throw people off too bad. You still wanted to be different, but, you know, I wanted people to sing the songs we were writing that lived down the road from us, you know, that kind of understood what we were trying to say, and, you know, and just have fun and do it. And then when you know, Matt left the band in 2012, I think, due to health issues, and then he got clean, and then him and I started working together last year with a pop artist that Matt had started a new record label, umbrellaed under Universal, and they had signed a pop artist, and we were actually writing her record when he slipped, and details are still coming out about what all happened, but basically he had took too many pain pills along with his other medication that he had to be on, and he succumbed to it, 38 years old, and hit me pretty hard because you know, I've been musically friends with him for forever, you know, but aside from the music, you know, we were still buddies that grew up down the road from one another. You know, music's what brought us together, and if y'all don't mind, since we're talking about it, I was actually at the Smoky Mountain Songwriters Festival. It was right before then when Matt passed away, and so I went straight to this festival because I was booked. And it was a hard weekend to get through, you know, because me and a lot of other guys that were there and ladies that were there, you know, performing as, you know, the feature acts and stuff, we had to put the show on. I mean, that's what people paid to be there to see. But it was really hard to get through all that, but I did. And went home and just started picking around on my guitar. I hardly ever write at home. I don't know why I always go to my buddy's studio. You know, it's always business. So you go to the studio, you write, then you record it. You know, you just, you know, be as productive as you can. But I just started picking around at home, and just this melody, these words, all this stuff just come at me from out of nowhere. And anybody that knows me knows I've never been smart enough to write a good song. It comes from somewhere else. I'm just a vessel that it flows through. And I've said this a million times, and it's because I believe it. And then that was the case for this next song. It just started funneling to me from somewhere else, and I really believe Matt was with me, telling me a story. And but I got stuck on this one part, and it was aggravating to me because I usually can figure out a way around a part to make it work with the melody, with the syllables, you know, everything you want to do to fit that spot in the song. And I just couldn't make it happen. And then my oldest daughter walked in the kitchen. She said, "What are you playing?" And I played a little bit to her, and I said, "But I'm stuck on this one part." And she said, "Well, are you trying to say this?" Da, 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 da. And I said, "Yeah, that's exactly what I'm trying to say." I said, "Sit your butt down." So she sat down, and this was her first song to ever write with me. My oldest daughter. My youngest daughter's written a few with me, but my oldest had never written with me before. So this little song we put together, hopefully I won't mess it up. I haven't played it live on radio or nothing yet. So it's called If They Could Only See Me Now. Right?
Sitting on a pier, wiggling my toes in the ocean, soaking it in, taking each breath in slow motion. Warm, gentle breeze moving me, listening to all the birds sing as they fly by. Seems like it took a million miles to get here to this place. Now I feel like I'm at home with the sun kissing my face, singing along to my new favorite song. In this beautiful paradise, I didn't know where I was going that night when I boarded that train, but peace came over me and I knew I was okay, yeah, knew I was okay. All alone, but I knew I was okay, yeah. And we moved so fast, swept me off my feet. Then I softly landed in this town. They always said that I would never settle down. If they could only see me now. As I stare into this new horizon, all of the bruises and the scars on my skin from yesterday has faded away. and all I can do is smile. I didn't know where I was going that night when I boarded that train, but peace came over me, and I knew I was okay. Yeah, knew I was okay. All alone, but I knew I was okay. Yeah. Then we moved so fast, swept me off my feet. Then I softly landed in this town. They always said that I would never settle down. If they could only see me now. Maybe one day my friends will come for a visit, hang out and see this view from where I sit, 'cause my memory is no longer 6 feet in the ground. I didn't know where I was going that night when I boarded that train, but peace came over me, and I knew I was okay. Yeah, knew I was okay. All alone, but I knew I was okay. Yeah. We moved so fast, swept me off my feet. Then I softly landed in this town. They always said that I would never settle down. If they could only see me now.
Yeah.
I was really hoping you were going to play that tonight.
I hope my daughter's listening, because she was like, "You've been playing that out live?" I was like, "Yeah."
You know,
I didn't know that. I was like, "Yeah, you making some money."
and yesterday was Memorial Day.
Yeah.
And, you know, there's so many veterans, you know, that are still suffering from PTSD that deal on a daily basis with the scars that we can't see, those underlying scars that take a toll, and there's a lot of them that are committing suicide, you know, and there's people that are left, families that are still left with that absence there. And that song, and I even lost a friend myself about, I mentioned to you just about 2 months ago. You know, he was real young, and I don't know exactly, we all don't really know, but that song itself, it speaks a healing. It kind of gives you more of an understanding, you know, because that's just one of those things that leaves you, you know, that why. But that song there kind of helps individuals that have lost a friend or a loved one to suicide. If it was, we don't know, you know, to the degree what drives people. But that song, it's one of those, I think, that's going to strike a chord with so many people. It's going to, it is, and I'm glad you played it. I didn't know, because I remember you told me, you said I don't perform this out live, not often, but we do appreciate tonight you performed that here on WFMC Jams on the Midnight Madness show.
I want to thank Sean and Annemarie for both being here this evening, making us a great show.
Yeah, doubleheader.
Doubleheader. Next week we have another doubleheader.
Another doubleheader?
We do.
It's crazy.
Yes. We have from California. Our first artist will be Rebecca Wellman.
Awesome.
California knows how to party.
Yeah. And then
you ought to write that.
Yeah, there you
That's
go.
a hook right there.
In the city of
Yeah.
L.A.
There you
California.
go.
But do it with that, like that weird effect.
And then we have one more of Buzzy's artist coming here.
What is this, a Buzzy show?
Yeah, it's becoming one.
We like that.
Lucy Isabella.
Lucy Isabella.
Yes.
Nice name.
She will be the second guest for the show.
Well, excellent. So I can't wait. Another doubleheader next week. Maybe we'll have Sean sing like the national anthem in between the two or something.
There you go. There you go.
So, well, Sean, we got time for one more, then we're going to have to sign off. But we want to thank everybody that's been listening. Now, Sean, you got a website, a Facebook page?
Yes, sir. Sean Gasaway, S-E-A-N, like Sean Connery.
Yeah.
Gasaway, I like it, that just get stuck in your head.
Yeah.
But it's one S, G-A-S-A-W-A-Y. You can find my stuff at SeanGasaway.com or on Facebook, Twitter, Gasaway Music, and Instagram, and all that good stuff. And on any downloadable website. My music's out there, so y'all make sure y'all get it for me, all right?
Check out where both these artists that was here tonight, Sean and Annemarie, go check them out. That's how this thing works. We try to bring them in front of you. You hear them. You go to their Facebook page, website, find out where they're playing. So
Before we get
all right,
we have a message from Jerry Thomas.
Jerry J. Thomas.
It says, tell Sean that he needs to be number 11 co-write. What does that make me, 12?
Apparently. He's bigger than you are, like twice as big as you are.
Yeah, he's a lot, yeah.
He just moved into the 11th spot.
He said, both of us being Southern boys love his style of music.
Oh,
yes.
thank you.
Well, thank you, Jerry, for jumping in there. But, Sean, why don't we go ahead and close off with one more
Sure
song?
will. Quick story. I was blessed to be asked to go to Spain a couple of years ago and be one of the country representative at a writers retreat. And while I was there, I played some of my new stuff that was going to be on my album that you can buy now. And this song ended up getting me a record deal. And I signed with a label in Ireland, and they released it last year, and it hit number 9 on the Radio Airplay BBC charts June 17th a year ago. So I'll play that one for y'all. This is called She Blew Me Away. She blew me away, 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 away. She blew me away, 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 away. There she was, lying on a blanket, with the radio up and cranking, cool shades in a paper bag. Man, I wish I had a girl like that. Summer song drifting through the air, southern breeze blowing through her hair, and when she smiled at me, she blew me away, 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 away. She blew me away, 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 away. She knocked me down to my knees in the sand, felt like a hurricane making land, like a bomb went off in the middle of the bay. She blew me away, 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 away. She blew me away, 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 away. She tossed me lotion motion to come over, turned around and pointed at her shoulders, dang near had a heart attack, running my hands up and down her back. Then I don't know what happened next. She put her arms around my neck, and when she kissed my lips, she blew me away, 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 away. She blew me away, 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 away. She knocked me down to my knees in the sand, felt like a hurricane making land, like a bomb went off in the middle of the bay. She blew me away, 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 away. She blew me away, 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 away. She's like a dream come true, makes me a happy man. But between me and you, I didn't know what to do. 'Cause she blew me away, 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 away. She blew me away, 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 away. She blew me away, 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 away. She blew me away, 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 away. She knocked me down to my knees.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That is all.
Sean Gasaway, everybody. Sean, thank you for being our guest tonight. Their bills, help them out. Go see their shows, support them, pat them on the back. Said you heard you on the radio station, whatever radio station it be, ours or wherever they're performing. They're both all over everywhere. They've both been to Ireland and stuff. That's way cool. So support them out. We want to thank Chris at heatfmradio.com. Thank you for supporting us and sharing these two great artists out there with your audience too. And again, everyone that's listened to the Sean pardon me, I was looking to Sean, but to Chris's radio station, make sure you like his page and support his what's going on. Again, I was listening to his radio station earlier today. He's got some great stuff, killer stuff. Made me want to dance, and I'm not a dancer, so but check it out.
Yeah,
he beatbox. Sean beatbox. But with that, anybody else on the panel, we got anything they'd like to say to our guest? If
I was
not,
just going to say, I don't know if you got a chance to look over, but you got a serious fan right here in this room right now.
All right. Our vast audience tonight was singing with me. It was awesome.
Yeah, that young lady right there, man, she had you down word per word, man.
Yeah, I think she's been like jamming out to your CD is what I'm thinking. This is Tisha's daughter. I can't remember
I
her
can hear
name.
all the way out at the spa on the 13th floor balcony.
There you are.
The studio's here.
There you
We're
are.
embarrassing her, but that's really cool. Anytime I see a child like just get down with some music, I mean that's really exciting to me. We need music in our kids' lives today because they do not get enough in
Very
school.
true.
That's for sure.
Very true. Andy, anything you want to say?
It's been awesome. It really has been. Again, every time he comes, and he's on the show with us, this is first class right here, and
What a kiss up.
I really mean it. No,
Don't worry, Jason. You'll be next. So
All
hang
right.
on. Hang on.
I do want to mention one thing. He has a song right now that's really been charting the Trop 40, and I don't want us to forget that.
It hit number one this week.
Hit number one this week.
Sure did.
The Puerto Rico song.
That's
and Sean, where can people check that song out and
Oh,
plug
it's on
into that?
iTunes right now, and Radio A1A, which is a huge trop rock station, and its affiliates all over the world have been playing it. And like I said, this past weekend it went to number one. So it's been floating around the top 5 for the last few weeks, and it finally went to number one. So I'm very grateful for that. But iTunes, anywhere you can download music, just look up the Puerto Rico song and my name, and you'll find it. It's a cool little tune.
And he also has co-wrote a song with another artist that we don't want to forget to mention that's from down in the Florida, Alabama way, right down there, Miss Kat Taylor, who's been on her show in the past. She's got a song that's doing really well in the indie world charts. Number one and I
About
believe
6 weeks.
for 6 weeks, and also on the country.
Taylor wrote that, and I produced a record on her, and it's been sitting. It went down to number 2 one week. Florida Georgia Line with the Backstreet Boys knocked it down, and then she knocked them back down to number 2 last week.
That'll teach them.
Hey, that's it. That's it. She has to kick them back
I'd never
down
thought
that
I'd hear
Florida
a
line.
country title by the Backstreet Boys, Florida Georgia Line, but
Yeah.
it is what it is. But Cat's kicking butt out there. And Cowboy Troy's new single, Pork Chops, out, and I wrote and co-produced it, and co-wrote it as well. And so you can find it on Cowboy Troy's stuff, and you can hear it out with him and Big and Rich are out on tour right now, so you can catch it out there with him. So it's been a pretty busy year.
Excellent.
Years, yeah.
Jason?
I just, again, want to thank both of you very much for coming out and being a part of the show. It won't be the last time, I assure you. I'll have you both back. And a special thanks to the rest of the panel for sitting in tonight. Had to make me look good.
Somebody had to.
I'm just glad the weather held up out here on the balcony of the 13th floor.
That's right. That's right.
I hear you.
That's right.
When the
Manchester
building
Inn.
starts to swaying, this music is over. You got to go. But it's lightning out there a little bit. It's still teasing us. But again, we want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight, listening. Brian as always, what a great job you did pushing the show on.
Yes.
Every week he goes through technical difficulties with electronics and equipment. We live in the modern age, and it's great if it works, but 99% of the time there's always some little catch or glitch. You've been in the studio, you know. There's just
Brian has worked very hard to get the show out to where it should be. And
Yes.
we greatly appreciate Brian, and we know we got better things.
Oh, and I should say that. Brian, are you on the air with us right now? Can you talk?
Yeah, I'm here.
Stop eating. And we had the Bonnaroo wristband parking pass giveaway, and I forgot to mention that. We did get a winner. We want to thank all the people that called in, gave us their information. We Brian and I sat right here on our stage and drew out the winners, or drew out all the names, so you knew all the names were put in there. And we pulled out the winner. Brian, do you have the winner name present who won?
Yes, it was Veronica Wurgis from Arkansas.
Way to go, Veronica.
Okay, congratulations, Veronica. And Brian said when he called her, not only did he do the Facebook Live thing, or I think he taped it and put it on Facebook, not only did we do that, but he ended up calling her. And she was very happy, wasn't she, Brian?
Yes.
Let's say she forgot she was on radio.
No, it wasn't on the radio. I called her and I was kind of glad. Well, it wasn't. I mean, not a bad thing. Let's just say if it had been on FM radio, we might have got a fine from it.
Was it because she wanted the band and the autographed picture of the hillbilly
Heartthrob? That's what she was excited about.
He was in the picture with the banana hammock.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Wow. I'm
There you
scarred
go,
for life
Veronica.
just
You
thinking
just won
that.
that. Congratulations, Veronica.
That scares me.
Sean, with that comment, if you're not asked back, they'll be shocked. I don't want to have those things in my head. But again, we want to thank
Sean,
Veronica.
you were doing so good till then. God, come on.
We want to thank
Picture
Veronica
that,
for
Mark.
winning.
Picture that.
No.
In a Speedo.
Dang your eyes. But we want to thank everybody. We want to thank Veronica for getting part of that, and the Bonnaroo for allowing us to give away 2 wristbands as well as a parking pass. A little over $699, $700 plus prize package. Thank you, Bonnaroo, for allowing us to do that. Check out the Bonnaroo lineup this year, 2017. WFMC Jams is going to be on the grounds at the Bonnaroo. We have a press pass, media pass that WFMC Jams will be doing live interviews, so check out our Facebook page. We'll give you more details of what's going on. The artists that are going to come on, we're going to be interviewing them. We're not sure exactly what artists we get a chance to interview yet, but I already told Brian if we...
It'll be Marshmallow.
I thought Marshmallow, too.
I
don't know
hope
if
you get to interview Marshmallow.
I know he talks. He puts a microphone underneath the little jar head that he's got, and he talks. But I'd like to interview Marshmallow just because it's just odd. But Cage the Elephant is the one I really want to interview them guys. But so check that out. And again, thank you, Bonnaroo, for allowing us to be part of the media blitz out there for the Bonnaroo 2017 lineup featuring U2 and Red Hot Chili Peppers, The Weeknd, and a whole list of great bands. So and Marshmallow, yeah. Chase the Rapper. There's a whole bunch of them out there. So with that, I want to say thank you to everybody. Thank you, Brian, for putting the show on. Again, to the 2 artists tonight, thank you for doing the double booking thing tonight with us. And with that, everybody, if you like our music and you like our artists, make sure you like the page, you like their page, like Chris's page out there in New York. We wish you the very best. And we will be here next week with another double hitter. So with that, I am Mark the DJ Doctor saying until next week, good night.